Benji made this one.
Yeah. Peace and life.
That's right.
From the very beginning, the first sound is the beat of the heart. The sound of life is only right. Let the beat is the start. We embark on the life of making memories of sounds. In our mind, when we find we can make it with mind.
What up? Welcome back. Another episode, Beats and Life. This is going to be a little different, man. I'm going to share some current, I usually try to stick to, my thoughts of like hip hop history and, my thoughts on like how certain topics, music related, affects musicians or just certain perspective, overall perspective. I'm gonna touch on something current right now that I just seen. I ain't even really go all off into it because I already know, I already see what it is, the spirit of it. I already understand what the spirit of it is. Ghostface, let me start out by saying Ghostface, Wu-Tang, all the Wu-Tang, man, like they like big brothers to me. Without them, at that time, without that insight, man, they was giving me jewels that I used before the internet. Like before the internet, hip hop was pretty much a way that you could put certain words, certain terminology in the music, and you could kind of like teach people. So I learned a whole lot of valuable lessons from Wu-Tang early on. They like I said, they like my big brothers, man. RZA being one of my biggest influences, producer wise. Man, in every way, RZA one of my favorite producers of all time. Meth being one of the most charismatic front, not necessarily front man, but he was the first to emerge from the Wu. Ghost and Ray, one of the best tandems, one of the best. They wasn't even a group, but they just complement each other so much. Ghost got his own, flair, like, just everything about Ray. I mean, everything about Ghost is just like super duper, like to me, you know what I'm saying? I really relate to Ghost, like I'm a Taurus. I found out he was a Taurus. Ray, everything Raekwon represent, man, y'all already know what it is, man. If y'all follow Wu-Tang and understand what they mean to hip hop, and not even just hip hop, the music business in general, by them being a group on one label, and then they spawned, they branched out and pretty much infiltrated the whole music industry. It's a song GZA made called Labels. That song will basically describe how they infiltrated the music industry, and it was all by design. So these are some very intelligent brothers, man. Not only music business wise, rapper wise, they very in tune spiritually. If y'all don't know, they 5%ers. The 5%ers is an offshoot of the Nation of Islam. The 5%ers was started by a guy named Clarence 13X. And if y'all listen to the songs, you would know like they actually put these things in the songs. So man, this what I just heard. Let me play a little bit of this clip from this video that I ain't gonna play too much of it, but I'm gonna play a little bit.
Let's get into this video, you guys. I want to talk about let's get into this video, you guys. I want to talk about this recent situation with legendary rapper from the Wu-Tang Clan, Ghostface Killah, right? Ghostface Killah has a son. Now, a lot of you may not know, some of you may know, that Ghostface Killah's son is gay, right? And so it's always something I believe in.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there, man. So just that alone, man, like to me, you know, just finding that out. You know, I just found this out, you know, and I just felt like I wanted to share my thoughts, you know what I'm saying, instead of keeping them to myself. Just knowing that little nugget of information, I'm already able to decipher, you know what I mean, and translate, you know, because I think they're going to go further into the video that he disagreed with his son's lifestyle. And I'm going to just clear this up, man, just from me being a student of like what Wu-Tang represent to me. And I'm not even a 5%er, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I understand it and I subscribe to it. You know, I subscribe to a lot of different ideology to come up with my own or what I think, what I feel like God is. God is everybody to me. That's how I look at God. But this is a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual thing. And I just know I got two sons. And I always broke it down to them like just basically try to translate to them what this spirit is. It's a spirit of confusion. That's all it is, none more or less. And guess what? That spirit is in every sin made. So it ain't like this the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? They sensationalize the people that's making these videos. I don't think this guy is on that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people gonna sensationalize this, you know, lifestyle and try to associate it with the God. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, nah, bro. It's just confusion. Any sin is is confusion. You know what I'm saying? You know, if he don't disagree with it, guess what? I don't disagree with my son being a killer. I don't disagree with my son, you know, lying. I don't disagree with my son. I wouldn't disagree with my son's doing nothing, you know, sinful. So this is just one more thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's all rooted in confusion. So that's why I don't, you know, I don't put more emphasis on that type of stuff than any other thing. They all equally bad. You know what I'm saying? So they are equally confusing, right? So that right there, and it ain't like, well, I'm gonna say this, you know, because I don't agree with that lifestyle at all. I don't agree with no sinful lifestyle, right? And I'm not perfect. So that means I don't agree with some of the stuff I do, right? None of us perfect. That's a whole lot, right, to say. But it's the truth, man. You know, who are we to judge? You know what I'm saying? Another man, right? At the same time, you don't gotta agree with it, and you don't gotta go along with it either. You know what I mean? Just me, my understanding, like I said, what Wu-Tang and what, you know, 5% of nation and even just the religion, you know what I'm saying? Muslims and Christianity, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Like they all like dispel that lifestyle. But see, what's going on right today is trendy. That lifestyle is trendy. So that's why it was important for me to decipher what that meant to my sons. Not just my sons, my daughters too. You know what I'm saying? Now, if any one of my children come back with that lifestyle, I know I wouldn't disown them, but I would still be trying to help them navigate through that. You know what I mean? Because it seems to be the new version, like in our era, being a thug was sensationalized. So I always kind of correlate trying to be hard and tough with this lifestyle. I always correlated because it seems to be the same thing because there was a lot of fake thugs back in our era. Just like I think it's a lot of fake homo people today. I just think a lot of people doing it for reaction. Like they just want some kind of basically just want a reaction. It's the new thing. You know what I mean? That's my take on all of this. I'm gonna finish up a little bit of this video. I gotta shoot a move. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video.
That you should do as a child, regardless of your age, and that's honor your parents. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. You know what I mean? Unless your parents out here you know, Stone Cold Killer, or just doing something that's going to take you and put you. If they're teaching you to do something bad, outside of that, I'll just say, man, look, at least have some type of honorable dignity for your parents. So, anyway, what's going on is this story right now is going viral. Ghostface Killer's son, who's gay, who's come out and decided to air out his father, point blank, period. To the person who says you thought I said Rashida Shaw was murdered, I never said.
Yeah, so that's another thing that's going on. Apparently, his son is, I guess, like trying to expose. Like, you can't expose God. Like, God is God anyway. You know what I'm saying? God is already there. You know what I'm saying? God exposed, he exposed life to everything and everybody. He exposed life to him. That's his God. That's God. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like figuratively and literally, in every way, shape, or form. That's God. He manifested him through his life, right? So you can't expose, it's impossible to do that. So that's another reason why I want to continue to pray. Let me pray right now. Yeah, man, just pray for Ghost, and his family, man. They get through this, and you know what? It ain't gonna actually this nothing but a lesson. Nothing but, just like anything else, is not the end of the world. If you got a gay son or gay daughter, man, it's not the end of the world. It's like I said earlier, it's like the new version of what being a thug street nigga was. We was disappointing our parents left and right, and that was the goal. You know what I'm saying? To disappoint our parents. We're just being rebellious. This the new version of what being rebellious. That's how I interpret it. You know what I'm saying? It's all for a reaction. You want a reaction from his daddy. He want, with our kids, a lot of times they don't care what kind of reaction they get, whether it's good reaction or a bad reaction. They don't care. They just want any kind of reaction from us, especially what I'm assuming Ghost's lifestyle is being an entertainer. He most likely wasn't there for none of his kids. Like, a dad like me, I went to work every day. I seen my kids every day, but when you don't have a lifestyle, to me, I look at it like a sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? Like a sacrifice he made, you know what I mean? To live a certain type of lifestyle, to have certain things, I don't know all the dynamics, but I do know in general, because I got 5 kids and I was a kid at one point in time myself. So kids rebel against their parents because they want some attention. That's just how that go. So yeah, it's weird that his son think he exposing his daddy, man. You ain't doing nothing but exposing yourself. You know what I mean? And trying to seem to me like you're trying to get clout, and it seemed to be working. I didn't listen to his music, but it seemed like,
show me the video where I said that, and I never said that. I don't know where you got that from. I never said that. I literally
what they talking about.
Well, something that we ain't even talking about. Something ain't having nothing to do with this camera, right? Is openly gay. Now, he publicly identified as such in 2023 in an Instagram post where he accused his father, Ghostface Killah, of being a deadbeat dad who neglected him and his siblings for over 15 years, partly due to discomfort with his sexuality, is what he says. So his son is saying basically his father didn't want nothing to do with him because he was gay, right? So Ghostface Killah's son, Infinite Coles.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I don't think that me personally, and it's just me, this the guy, like I said, Ghost, and 5%er Muslim, Nation of Islam type brothers. I'm not one of them, but you know, I'm gonna say this just for myself. I wouldn't like disown my kids, you know, like saying to me, you kind of could see that kind of stuff when they're young. You can see it, you know, you can see it, you know, and I guess, you know, if that's the case, you can see it as a father, especially as a man, which I believe Ghost is a man's man. That's always been my, you know, my take, my energy from Big Homie, you know, like he a man's man. So, you know, he probably would be able to see that, you know, to probably jump out at him like, oh, hold up, right? So, but you know, I got family members that's like that, you know, and they've been like that, like they've been showing signs of that, you know. It was always there, like it was never not there. It was always there. So, when I guess if that's your son though, I'm imagining that, you know, you like, you know, right? So I got a homeboy, he got a son that's like that. And all I know is like my homeboy, man, he be mad. And man, I just be like, dang, you know, I don't know what to really tell him, but you know, at the same time, I let him, you know, I let him vent, you know what I'm saying? I don't never really say too much back to him, you know, because what more can you say? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't have nothing to add to it, but he be mad, you know what I'm saying? He don't like it. And I don't know, man. I'm one of them kind of fathers, like I understand reverse psychology. I understand the power of embracing what you don't like and acting like you like what you know what I'm saying? And not embracing something that you actually might like. You know what I'm saying? It's reverse psychology. Because kids, they actually do the opposite of what you know what I'm saying? They respond the opposite of the way you might respond to them. So I think had Ghost act like he liked it, that like not necessarily liked it, but act like he embraced it like early on, he could have had more room to have some dialogue with his son. And he might not have ever, you know what I'm saying, like accepted it. But guess what? At least he could have still had a relationship with his son. I mean, I think that in the long run, you know, in the long run, it's good, you know what I'm saying, to have a relationship with your child. But at the same time, I feel him. I mean, like I said, this is like my big, I kind of understand that age group of brothers, man. Like they stand on all 10, right? Period. You know, I don't think, you know, these kind of guys have regrets, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that they don't believe in. So, like I said, man, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna continue to pray for the big bro, big homie, you know, and pray, you know, him and his son get through this phase and hopefully can mend their father-son relationship, regardless of the lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, difference. Like that ain't really important at the end of the day, man. It's really about father and son, you know what I'm saying? It's they blood, man. You know, like I say, you manifest him. That's your boy, you know what I'm saying? That's your boy, man. Always gonna be your son, you know, regardless of what, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, hold your head, Ghost. We, you know, we over here, we ain't gonna sensationalize it and make it look like it's some, you know, crazy stuff and like you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that tarnish your legacy. No, I don't, not at all, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of people going through this. The new trend to get the parents' attention. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's the new version of what being a thug was in our generation. You know what I'm saying? There was so many good kids that wanted to be thugs and just wasn't living like they were supposed to. They weren't supposed to be doing this shit. They weren't supposed to be street niggas. You know what I'm saying? They was just trying to get attention from their parents. You know what I'm saying? And we picked up on that too. A lot of us did. Like, I was never into that though. I was a good kid and I stayed a good man. I grew up to be a good man. I never was a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I understood how to navigate through that. You know what I mean? So Yeah, so same thing. It's a whole lot of good, straight young kids that's navigating through this, this lifestyle trend out here right now. So yeah, and they're gonna be able to share with their kids and their families, when they get older, how they navigated through that, just like I had to navigate through these thugs and all that shit in our generation. So yeah, man, hold your head, Ghost. I'm gonna keep you uplifted in prayer, your son uplifted in prayer, and y'all gonna make it through. All right, one. I'm out.
Energy made this one.
Yeah. Peace and life. That's right. From the very beginning, the first sound is the beat of the heart. The sound of life is only right. Let the beat is the start. We embark on the life of making memories of sounds. In our mind, when we find we can make it.